Miami Dolphins news and rumors coming at you here, and there's a report out there that Brian Flores really likes Micah Parsons. So the two sides to this are pretty simple. One, most NFL teams probably like Micah Parsons from a term of, well, overall talent, because you can't really deny the talent. The other part of it is this. Multiple teams out there have taken Parsons off their draft board because of some off-the-field concerns. If these reports are true, that Brian Flores does like Parsons, okay, they're one of the teams that have him on their draft board. So Matt Miller went out and said that the team is unlikely to draft him at pick number 6, which then to me means this. Either you trade down from pick number 6 if you're Miami, okay? If you're Miami, you trade down from 6. Maybe a team wants to trade up for a quarterback, and maybe you could get him at like 9, 10, 11, 12, wherever in that range. Or you hope that he slides to 18. I don't think that's very likely. Or you go ahead and end up trading up for Parsons. Now, why would somebody want to go out and trade for him? I mean, coming into the draft, I probably would have said Parsons is the most talented player on defense. Is it a weak defensive class? Yes, it is. However, you can't deny the talent. Now, if I'm an NFL team and if I'm an NFL organization, I don't use Parsons as a middle linebacker. I use him as a little bit more of an edge rusher. And at 6'3", 245 pounds, you can see the numbers that he put up in 2019 at Penn State. 109 tackles, the 5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and 5 pass breakups. He can realistically do everything. Now, I don't know if I would use him much as a coverage linebacker in the NFL, but if you could just tell him, hey, man, all I need you to do is blow up the running back, I need you to get after the quarterback and really just be that true edge rusher, that's where you're going to see Parsons, I think, really excel. So here are some of my top linebacking prospects as it stands right now. I got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He's my number 1, just as my outside linebacker, sideline to sideline, overall great player. Micah Parsons is number 2. Jamin Davis has been really rising up boards at number 3. Nick Bolton, he is more of your true middle linebacker from Mizzou at number 4. And then Zaven Collins sitting there at number 5. So what I wanted to be able to do on today's episode is really talk about potentially what some of the things Miami could do if they really wanted Micah Parsons. But how about this? What is the percent chance Parsons falls to pick number 18? Scale from 0 to 100. So percent chance. So is it a 50% chance? Is it a 80% chance? Is it a 1% chance? 0% chance? Go down in the comments and let me know. What is the percent chance Micah Parsons, linebacker from Penn State, falls all the way to the Miami Dolphins, second pick in the first round at number 18? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say it's like a 10% chance of happening, because even though there's going to be multiple teams out there that won't have Parsons on their board, there's going to be a lot of other NFL teams out there that see the talent, see the need, and see that he's going to be able to fit here with their team. So I'm going to say less than 10% chance of happening. Am I saying it's impossible? No, of course not. But I've seen multiple mock drafts. I've also done multiple mock drafts where I'm like, okay, how can Parsons fall down? And I'm going to say it's like a 10% chance of happening. So let's just say Brian Flores is like, okay, I really want this guy, but I want to go ahead and take somebody like a Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Kyle Pitts, or somebody at number 6. That means to me, you got to trade up from 18 to be able to figure out how are you going to be able to go get your guy Micah Parsons. Now, there's 2 processes to that, right? You got to figure out which teams do you think are going to be the teams that go ahead and draft him, and then you got to think about the teams that could potentially, that you're going to trade with. So the first thing I'm going to show you all here are some teams that I honestly believe are going to have Micah Parsons on their board and could be interested in drafting him. The Denver Broncos at number 9. When I look at overall need, Denver's done some great things in free agency, especially building that defense. Micah Parsons, when I do mock drafts, he ends up going to them the most. The New York Giants, they really haven't been a team built on drafting linebackers, but linebacking, maybe more edge rusher, is more of a need for the Giants at 11. And then the New England Patriots at 15. I think he would be a perfect fit for what they're trying to do. Another very, very talented defense. Now, today's show is presented by Manscape. You see that down there? It says, we save balls. They do 100% save balls. And if you want to save your balls, go to manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and get free shipping. My favorite product that they have is the Lawnmower 3.0, which you guys can see over here as I do my best Vanna White impression. Now, I don't have any chance in hell with Vanna White, but I'll tell you what, my chances definitely go up if I use the Lawnmower 3.0. The other thing that I absolutely love about this product, the 8-hour battery life, the changeable blades, because it's very important to change your blades. I'm telling you that right now. Now, if you go out and you get the perfect package, because let's be real, you're trying to look good, you're trying to do your thing, summer's coming around here, and don't be that guy that's wearing that bathing suit and you got your whole George W. hanging out. You don't want to be that guy. Now, you can also get the most comfortable boxers and the traveling case as well, 100% free when you get started. Now, for some reason, maybe you're not paying attention, or maybe this entire time I'm reading this, you're down looking at your junk. So one more time, it's manscape.com/chat, 20% off and free shipping. This is the best male grooming tool that you'll ever purchase. I 100% guarantee that. It's also in the comments. It's in the description. So now, don't wait. Act now. So let's now get into the top 3 teams that I think that Miami could trade up for in terms of going out and getting their guy. If I think that Micah Parsons could go to the Broncos at 9, the first team I'm going to bring up is the Carolina Panthers, which means you got to trade up to number 8 to get your guy. The Panthers have stated that they would be interested in trading down, and as soon as they made the deal for Sam Darnold, right? You traded for Sam Darnold, now you're sitting there. Why wouldn't they want to go out and get a few of those picks that they traded away, right? Like, you traded away to go picks to get Darnold. Why not try to get some more draft capital back to be able to build around your quarterback? Plus, you know that Carolina's not going to be going out and taking a quarterback, right? Right? So here's the trade idea that I ended up cooking up here. The Dolphins, they get the 8th overall pick. They send pick number 18, pick number 81, so in the 3rd round, and then their 2022 first round pick. So every trade that you guys see that pop up here on the screen, what I want you to do is let me know who wins this trade, what you think about the trade. If you have any other ideas, please go down in the comments and let me know. So again, the Dolphins, they get the number 8 overall pick. They're able to go up and get Parsons. The Panthers, they restock some of the draft capital they lost by going out and trading for Sam Darnold. So who wins this trade? If you're sitting there going the Miami Dolphins, I want you to type MIA. If you're sitting there saying the Carolina Panthers, I want you to type CAR. The next team that we're going to bring up here that I think Miami could trade up for if they really want Parsons is the Dallas Cowboys, the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft. When I look at Dallas, they have plenty of holes to fill on defense. Like, I think the offense is pretty set. Sure, you still got some needs there on the offensive line. There's no doubt about that. But imagine a world where you could address not only the offensive line, but also the defense. I think that this is kind of what this trade is able or allows you to do. So you got 10 picks in the draft. That's great. With Dak Prescott back, you know that the offense is going to be clicking. But Dallas is also coming off one of the worst defensive showings that I've seen in quite some time, and it doesn't matter how many points you put up. If you're giving up over 30 points a game, you're not going to win many games. So here's the trade idea that I got, okay? The Dolphins, they trade up to pick number 10. The Cowboys, they receive 18, and then pick number 50 overall in the 2nd round. So again, the Dolphins trade up. I know what the title says. It's all good. So you go up to number 10. The Cowboys, they get 18 and 50 overall. So again, you're really restocking here. So grade the trade for Miami. I don't want you to grade the trade for the Dallas Cowboys. Grade the trade for Miami. And you have to keep in mind, the entire idea here is this. You have a guy, titles change, shout out to Sam, you have a guy that you really, really want, and you're willing to go up and get him. And for the Dolphins, they got plenty of draft capital to be able to do this. So if the Dolphins wanted to go up and get Parsons, and the Cowboys were willing to trade back, what do you guys think about the idea on screen? Scale from 0 to 100. 0 being it's terrible, all the way up to 100 being it's the greatest move ever. If I'm Miami, and all I got to give up is this, I'll tell you what, for them, if that's the guy that they really, truly want, I'll probably give it an 80, 85 grade. Am I normally the guy that likes to trade up? No, not necessarily. But for the Dolphins, man, you already have another 2nd-round pick, and that's number 36 overall. The last team that I'm going to bring up here as a potential trade-up partner is the Minnesota Vikings because, again, if I think the Patriots could be interested, you go up, you trade with them at number 14. So the Vikings, they could be looking to add a 2nd-round pick. They have that 1st-round pick. They have 2 picks in the 3rd, but they don't have a pick in round 2. Now, sure, they have 10 picks in this draft. They had a lot of picks last year, and I really liked a lot of the things that Minnesota was able to do in last year's draft. But if I'm the Vikings, I'm sitting here saying, okay, how can I end up competing with the Green Bay Packers? How can I sit here and end up competing with some of these other teams in our division, but you're really just trying to go after Green Bay? If some of the picks are sitting there, like if, let's say, edge rusher is a major need for you because you lost Yannick Ngakoue, what happens if a lot of the edge rushers go early? Or what happens if a player that you're looking for isn't quite sitting there? Now, maybe some of the edge rushers and some of this other defensive line talent might fall a little bit later on in the draft. So what do you guys think about this trade-up idea here? The Dolphins, they get the 14th overall pick. The Vikings, they get 18 and 81, so the Dolphins' third-rounder, and then a fourth-round pick in 2022. Now, I know I showed you a bunch of different trade ideas. I get it, but again, I am going to ask you, if you were the Dolphins, would you make this trade? Now, I don't know if I don't know if Minnesota wants the trade down, but if Miami really is trying to sweeten the deal, maybe you throw in another pick here or there a little bit later on. But I actually think this is a pretty good deal for Minnesota. But if you want Micah Parsons and if you want to trade up, I'm looking down in the comments right now. I am seeing a yes. So Y for yes, or I want you to type N for no. Now, again, I understand that all this is hypothetical, and again, this is a rumor-based show. That's okay. But guess what? Well, there's smoke. There's some fire. And for Miami saying that there's a report out there that they're interested in Parsons and they don't plan on taking him at 6, if anybody out there thinks that Miami's afraid to make a trade, y'all have been living underneath a rock. So out of all 3 of the trades that I just showed you, which one do you think is the most likely to happen, okay? We're sitting there on draft day, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, the Dolphins, they're trading up. Which one do you think is the most likely to happen? If you're sitting there saying it's the Carolina Panthers, I want you to type 1. If you think it's the Dallas Cowboys trade, I want you to type 2. If you think it's the Minnesota Vikings trade, I want you to scroll on down and type 3. Out of all the trades that I just showed you, I actually think the one that is the most likely is actually probably the Dallas Cowboys.